Thank you. Welcome to Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Jolene Ibanez, and I am your worship associate today. I am joined by Reverend Sean Wiltshire, our minister, and Matthew Patterson, one of the members of our fine congregation, Beth Syverson, our director of music ministries, and Karen Magoon Pearson, who is our director of religious education for children and youth. In welcoming you this morning, we would also like to recognize the many volunteers, those beautiful people that have helped us put this service together today. We respectfully recognize that our church property rests on Ahachiman and Tongva land. As Unitarian Universalists, we have many different beliefs, but we are one loving community. We are bound together not by a common set of rules or beliefs, but rather a covenant. A covenant is a promise that whatever our beliefs, we accept one another and encourage each other in spiritual growth. We affirm that life has inherent value and that all existence is interconnected. We strive for justice and compassion in our deeds and relationships, and we're committed to creating a welcoming community without regard to the traits that sometimes divide people. To our roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. And for our Zoomers, we ask that you perhaps say hello in a chat. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you're seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you will find it here. Later in the service, we will have an opportunity for you to introduce yourself if you'd like to do so. Let our worship begin with the lighting of our chalice, as we say our unison affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. This we affirm together.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Our opening song is by a friend of mine, a UU composer, Hal Walker from Ohio. And this song embodies the radical acceptance you'll be hearing about later in the service. Please rise in body or spirit and sing this to each other. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Now, I encourage you to look around. Don't hang on to eye contact for too long. That makes people uncomfortable. But just look around. Make sure everybody knows they're welcome. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Wherever you love, we welcome you. Last time. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. We welcome you.
Couple of quick announcements. Have you noticed it's a little hot today? Just a tad. Yeah, you didn't notice that? No. We have, for those of us who are not on Zoom, hi Zoomers, who are here in the room, our AC is working overtime. It is working. It's just working overtime. I have some paper. The ushers have paper if you want to use for a fan. Just raise your hand and the ushers will come and get that to you. There's like, we need some over here. Also, Sarah, our administrator, is running out to get some water. So if you feel like you need some water at any point during the service, just raise and kind of wave your hand or something like that. And I'll either point it out or the ushers will see you and they'll get you some water. Okay? don't be uncomfortable if you can help it. It is nice and warm, but it's nice to be warm here with you all. That's because we're really hot. All right. And of course, I think it's completely appropriate that today then we are actually celebrating Burning Man. Because if you think it's hot here, if you're in the Black Rock City Desert, Black Rock City in the Black Rock Desert,
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about how much it is. So, all right, so we are lifting up this unique arts festival called Burning Man today. Now, I'm just curious, how many here have heard of Burning Man? Anybody not hear of Burning Man? Anybody? Okay, so you're going to get a little bit of an introduction. Has anybody been to Burning Man here? Ooh, we got one in the back. We got another one over here. Excellent.
I'm a virgin.
As they call it. All right. Well, there's all these wonderful, lovely traditions that we'll tell you about Burning Man. And one of those lovely traditions is that when new people, when you first get there, you are greeted with the words, "Welcome home." Isn't that lovely? And with that, Matthew and I would like to open with these words.
It is not by chance that you arrive here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself.
Inside of you, there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring.
Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share.
And so you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love.
A community that holds its arms open to possibilities of love.
A heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts.
Welcome home.
So as I mentioned, we're exploring the spirituality and gift of Burning Man. This is a week-long festival held in the Nevada desert. And one of the traditions of Burning Man is to give also a gift. It's there's no money exchange except for ice, I understand. That's that you can pay for, but everything else is done as a gift. So as we learn about Burning Man this morning, Matthew has created a gift for you all, and he's going to pass those out. And sorry, Zoomers, if you want to come, or we can maybe send you one if you would like one. So, and he's also going to give you the gift of some of his story. And while he passes it out, we're going to have a short introduction to Burning Man by a 3-year-old.
Hi friends, welcome to LISO! Today we have a special episode. We're going to talk about Burning Man. Burning Man started in San Francisco in 1986 when a small group of friends burned a wooden sculpture on a beach and had a party. I love parties. Now over 70,000 people travel to the desert for every year. Some say Burning Man is an art festival, but it's actually a temporary city with its own culture. Burning Man is built by the people who attend the event. There's music, art, dancing, fireworks, and parties. It's so much fun! You can get a beignet in the French Quarter. You can climb to the top of the rainbow tree. Or you can hop on an art car. People can get off and on and go for a party. Whee! And people dance like this. There's a pirate ship and a giant octopus that shoots fire. There's even a temple. It's always so beautiful. The fire's there. I was in my mommy's tummy in my first burn. Then I learned to walk there. It was so cool! Burning Man only exists 1 week every year. It's held in a dry black bed. It kind of looks like here on the moon. It's so pretty. Burning Man runs on a gifted economy. Everybody brings what they need. Isn't that so cool? I can't wait to go back. It's so beautiful. There. Thanks for watching my show. See you next time.
That's like the best explanation of Burning Man I've seen in a long time. All right. So we have our time for all ages today. And I know some of our kids have either started school or will be starting school very, very soon. So believe me, this is actually on theme. But here's a story about the first day of school.
The Day You Begin, written by Jacqueline Woodson, illustrated by Rafael Lopez. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. Maybe it will be your skin, your clothes, or the curl of your hair. There will be times when no one understands the way words curl from your mouth, the beautiful language of the country you left behind. My name is Rigoberto. We just moved here from Venezuela. And because they don't understand, the classroom will fill with laughter until the teacher quiets everyone. Rigoberto, from Venezuela, your teacher says so soft and beautifully that your name and homeland sound like flowers blooming the first bright notes of a song. There will be times when the words don't come. Your own voice, once huge, now smaller when the teacher asks, "What did you do last summer? Tell the class your story." "We went to France," Chayla says. "These shells came from a beach in Maine." A boy named Jonathan holds out a jar filled with tiny shells so fragile they look like they'll turn to dust in your own untraveled hands. "My whole family went to India, Spain, South Carolina." Each souvenir a small triumph of a journey. Their travels going on. And as you stand in front of that room, you can only remember how the heat waved as it lifted off the curb, and your days spent at home caring for your little sister, who made you laugh out loud and hugged you hard at nap time. You can only remember the books you kept on reading long after she'd fallen to sleep. And in that room, where no one else is quite like you, you'll look down at your own empty hands and wonder, what good is this when other students were flying and sailing and going somewhere? There will be times when the lunch your mother packed for you is too strange or too unfamiliar for others to love as you do. When even your own friend Nadja will wrinkle her nose and say, "What's in there anyway?" And you'll wonder how she doesn't see the rice beneath the meat and kimchi. You'll wonder why she doesn't remember that rice is the most popular food in the world. There will be times when the climbing bars are too high. The run is too fast and far. The game isn't one you can ever really play. "I don't want him on our team." You can watch. Maybe you can have a turn later. There will be times when the world feels like a place that you're standing all the way outside of. And all that stands beside you is your own brave self, steady as steel and ready, even though you don't yet know what you're ready for. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you until the day you begin to share your stories. My name is Angelina, and I spent my whole summer with my little sister. You tell the class, your voice stronger than it was a minute ago. Reading books and telling stories, and even though we were right on our block, it was like we got to go everywhere. Your name is like my sister's, Rigoberto says. Her name is Angelina too. And all at once, in the room where no one else is quite like you, the world opens itself up a little wider to make some space for you. This is the day you begin to find the places inside, your laughter and your lunches, your books, your travel, and your stories. Where every new friend has something a little like you and something else, so fabulously not quite like you at all.
I'd like to invite Karen McGoon-Pearson up here to light the children's chalice, and then we will sing the children to their religious education classes.
We hold you in our love as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
Okay, back to Burning Man. So as I mentioned, Burning Man has a lot of traditions. We told you about welcome home and the gift giving. Actually, you know, when they say welcome home, actually you're supposed to lie down in the dirt and do a dirt angel. And the reason for that is they want to get you over the fact that you will be dirty that week. You will be. There's no way. You can't not be sand-free that entire weekend. So it's Burning Man. It has lots of parties. There's Tutu Tuesday. You'll see lots of tutus, okay? And of course, a lot of art. But you really just can't talk about Burning Man. You have to see it. So today's meditation is a visual feast for the eyes. And as you watch the video, though, I'd like you to just notice, and I do this because it came up for me, I'd like you to notice any judgments that come up for you. And just see if you can just let them go and enjoy the visual feast and the diversity of human creativity and, of course, expression. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Patterson, and I'm a burner. Some of you know me, especially the Zoomers, since that's where I usually attend services from. But when I was presented with an opportunity to share with you this week about a lifestyle and set of principles I've taken to heart, I got excited to tell you a little bit more about myself, too. This has been a fun week for me. I've been attending Burning Man virtually this year and the last 2 years because they've had it in the virtual spaces, via webcast and online radio. This festival, Temporary City, occurs at this time every year. From a distance, I've been able to see amazing art, listen to amazing stories of experiences of the people out, and listen to amazing stories of experiences of the people out there. This year is the first official in-person Burning Man since the pandemic began. So this year's event has been a pilgrimage for many people to get back out into the dusty Temporary City and rebuild the community that they've come to know and love. I've never been out there in person, but the past 2 years have been hosted in various virtual spaces, and I can honestly say that I was welcomed home to the virtual Burning Man event. Many of the stories that come out of Black Rock City can be wild, and some can be centered around big risque parties and partaking of lots of alcohol and other substances. Sure, some people have that experience, but that's not what the focus is of the event. The Burning Man organization website states that our intention is to generate society that connects each individual to his or her creative powers, to participate in community, to the largest realm of civic life, and to the even greater world of nature that exists beyond society. Does that sound like a lot of Unitarian Universalism in a lot of ways? One of the things that drew me to Unitarian Universalism in the first place is the similarity between the 10 principles of Burning Man and the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism. I'll go through the 10 principles and see if you can notice some of the similarities too. First is radical inclusion. Anyone that can be part of Burning Man. Excuse me. When I first got to know local burners in San Diego and later here in Orange County, I was welcomed with open arms and quickly found a second family. Their inclusion of me opened my world up to being more accepting of others. Believe me, that was a big thing for me, because I was raised in a community that was very closed off and not accepting of outsiders. Second is gifting. The value of a gift is unconditional. There's an old saying that I think of when thinking about this. If something is given with the expectation of something in return, that's not a gift, it's a purchase. Before, during, and after the burn, there are examples of this principle all over the place. For some, their gift is donating money to support an artist to build one of the large-scale art projects and experiences that are then shared as gifts to those in attendance. Others give the gift of labor, helping to build the city and then break down and clean the area up. Many camps offer activities and very often food and drink to those who come to their camps. My gift to the roomers today was the paper cranes that we handed out. Nothing is expected from anyone in return. I had a lot of fun doing that, by the way. And my husband, Alex, helped me out with making about half of them. That leads into the principle of decommodification. There is no commercial sponsorship or advertising. It's very common for people to cover logos on vehicles like moving vans and trailers, and any clothing that they wear that has logos on it. In fact, the only money that is exchanged inside the event is for purchase of bags of ice. They used to sell coffee, but I guess they changed a few things up this year. As you saw in that adorable video that we watched, everyone is expected to bring everything they need to survive in the harsh environment of the Black Rock Desert. Even though there are many camps that offer food and drink, everyone who attends is expected to practice self-reliance. Sure, if someone gets into a sticky situation or an emergency happens, there are usually people there willing to help out. But things like food, water, shelter, and the proper clothing and gear for the elements is ultimately everyone's responsibility, individually, in preparation for this event. Communal effort and civic responsibility are another two principles that are considered key to the spirit of Burning Man. See someone who needs help in some way, do what you can to help get them on their way. Volunteering is a big part of these two principles too. Without collaboration and cooperation, an event like Burning Man can't take place, especially when it comes to setting up camps and building the gorgeous art seen out there every year. Community members also assume responsibility for conducting these events in accordance with local, state, and federal laws. The principle of radical self-expression is one of the most prominently, publicly viewable aspects of the event. It often incorporates into the principles of communal effort and gifting too, because sometimes that self-expression can't be achieved without the help of others. While what I'm wearing might not be the wildest thing you might see out there, I love the fact that I could wear this to church on a normal Sunday, and most people probably wouldn't think twice about it. Other places, not so much. Pack it in, pack it out. Anything that is taken to any Burning Man organization event, we are expected to remove with us as we leave the event. There are no large trash cans out there for people to toss things into they no longer want. And so pretty much everyone carries a small trash bag around with them, or attached to their bike for easy transport back to their camp. At the end of the burn, volunteers and staff meticulously put everything back to its natural state. This is what is known as leave no trace. The concept of leaving no trace is important, in my opinion, not only in events like this, but also in our everyday lives. Leaving every place better than you found it is great for keeping our cities clean and our environment friendly for wildlife and others to enjoy. The last two principles, participation and immediacy, tie back into all the other principles. We achieve being through doing. Everyone is invited to work and to play, to give of themselves in some way, to express themselves, to build a community and participate in society. Experiencing life in the moment helps us to break down barriers and to make contact with something so much bigger than ourselves. This year's theme for Burning Man has been Waking Dreams. I leave you with this quote from John Lennon: "A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality." And in my own words, I offer this: come, dream with me of a better world, starting with a wonderful community. Thank you.
Well, we've seen the Burning Man principles. Now let's review our own principles. We haven't sung this song in a while. This song we wrote a couple of years ago to help us all remember the 7 principles. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Acceptance of
So those are our 7 principles. Now, before I begin, I just want to note water has arrived. Does anybody need any water? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we do need some water here. I don't blame. It's hot, isn't it? Yeah. There's some water right out front there. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. So I've known about Burning Man for a while now. My brother is a burner. And in fact, he is one of the 6 official photographers for the event. So I've been seeing pictures and things like that for a long time. Now I knew it had sort of a spiritual component to it, but I did sort of think, given my brother's descriptions and everything, that it was kind of one big party. And at the end, they burn an effigy of the man, which is like 40 stories high or something. I can't remember how high it is, but it's huge. It's absolutely huge, and you can see it there. Now, most of the pictures, if you were to look up on the internet, which I have done, about pictures of Burning Man, you're going to see, people in, skimpy costumes, often silly costumes. Costuming is a big deal there. Everybody wears costumes, right? There's people dancing, there's art. You see lots of bicycles, because this is a city. They're not kidding when they say a city. It's big, and to get anywhere you need a bicycle. So, but by the way, if any of you are having flashbacks to Woodstock, that's perfectly normal. And, honestly, all of these pictures that you see, it's very entertaining, right? It's very interesting. It's visually a feast. Now, I've watched a lot of these Burning Man videos. I've looked at pictures, and I've learned more and more. And I have to admit, I don't know if I'm feeling a little guilty admitting this, but I'm going to go ahead and admit it. I have these judgments that started coming up. Oh, those young people. No doubt lots of drugs, alcohol, sex. That outfit is way too revealing. Seriously, get a room, people. Oh, good Lord. I caught myself doing this. Like, wow, Sean, easy does it. These are people expressing themselves. And I began to think about the way that people judge Unitarian Universalists, right? Atheists, seriously? They have no morals. I bet the UU pagans sacrifice goats or something. They have a woman minister. Oh my God. And they could believe whatever they want. They could believe that a doorknob is God. And here's the thing, I have heard versions of each of those judgments about Unitarian Universalists, right? But here's the thing. It's so easy to judge, right? But there are lots of stories that you don't see on the internet because they're not necessarily good entertainment. So, for example, one of the things about Burning Man, there are huge sandstorms that can come in for hours at a time. So that's the city right there. You can see it's done on a very specific grid when you go there. And these massive snowstorms can come in, create total whiteouts. This is why you'll see when you go there, you have to bring a mask and goggles because you cannot go there without it, huh?
Yesterday's sandstorm was 7 or 8 hours.
It was 7 or 8 hours yesterday, the sandstorm. Fun, huh? And people do get lost. And there's lots of stories of people almost getting lost or actually sort of accidentally coming across some art in the middle of the desert. All sorts of different things. And there are rangers. These are the rangers. These are sort of the local people who know how things go, and they look out for people who maybe have gotten a little bit dehydrated or overcome with either drugs or alcohol. They look for lost people. Whatever it is. I guess it used to be really hard to get to Burning Man, and so they would go around and try to find people lost in their van trying to find Burning Man, because it's about 18 miles north of Reno, and the directions are like, okay, at the second cactus, take a left, So, you can get lost. But at any rate, there's lots of things. There are, it's not a perfect community. It sounds really idealistic and sounds absolutely wonderful. It's not perfect. There are assaults do happen. Even sexual assault can happen there. But, it's generally speaking, it has these wonderful principles that underlie everything. And then on Saturday night, last night, in fact, there is the burning whoops, I didn't mean to do that. The burning of the big man, right? We saw the picture of that. And it's one big raucous party, from what I understand. Okay, like everybody's doing. So that's part of all of what Burning Man is about. But what intrigued me most about Burning Man is the temple. And you don't hear about this as much. So the temple, there's a unique structure that's built every single year. They're beautiful structures. They're done out of balsa wood. And they're just these incredible structures that they put together just for that week. And everyone throughout the whole week is invited to write something on the temple, okay? To let go of grief, to let out prayers. It's whatever people want to manifest or let go of in the world. So these are like examples of them. Here's some examples of what people write on the temple. I miss you, Mom, more than anything in the world. Dad, I love you, but I feel safer now that you're gone. F off, cancer. For my grandmother, the purest soul I have ever known, I never got a chance to say goodbye. May you have found the peace you never knew in life. I will carry your spirit with me always. I love you. Chris, of all of us, you were a moral standard. You were the most deserving of making it home. I love you, brother. One day I will learn to love myself, I promise. I apologize for all the pain I've caused. I'm still learning. The insecure, scared me will die with the burning of the temple. The confident and satisfied self will persist without inhibition. Burn my fear. And all at once, the world opens itself a little wider, right? Suddenly these people that I might be judging a little bit in the back of my mind, oh, isn't that cute, right? They become real. When each of us tells our story, we become real to those around us. And then on Sunday night, tonight, they will burn the temple. And it is the quietest, there's not a sound as people watch and people are crying, they're letting go. This ceremony, this craziness of costumes, the beautiful art, the radical acceptance is what Burning Man is really all about. The radical acceptance. It's about celebrating who each of us are and each of our stories told in a myriad of ways, from costumes to writing to art, all of these different ways that we are who we are. And to me, that is what Unitarian Universalism is about, right? It's what our principles strive for, just as the Burning Man principles do. Now, we don't always get it perfect, but that's what the principles are there for. Whether you're a Burning Man or you're here, is to lift up and to remind us about who we are. We judge all the time. We can't help it. We're human beings, right? You might be judging me for being judgmental. That's cool, okay? I totally get it, right? But what we can do is we start becoming aware of that voice of judgment in our head so that, we can actually let it then go. So the next time you see someone who's dressed up maybe a little weird or acting a little strange to your eyes, your ears, I want to invite you to stop. Take a deep breath, notice the judgment, let it go, and ask yourself with open curiosity, what's their story? What's their story? If you remember Arvid's sermon last week, maybe then we'll become 2% more compassionate. Just 2% more just in this world. And this church and this world will be a shelter for all who come here. And welcome home. Let us sing.
This is a new song, and all you got to do is copy me. In the shelter of each other, in the shelter of our lives, we are open, we are dreaming, we are hopeful, we are wise. In the shelter of each other, in the shelter of your love, we are open, we are dreaming, we are hopeful, we are wise, we are hopeful, we are wise.
Oh, my skirt is sticking to me. Ah. Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all the funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUUC amplifies that spirit of generosity by sharing half the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month, we are partnering with Stand Up for Kids. That whole concept of Burning Man with the welcome home, well, we have a lot of kids in Orange County who do not have a welcome home. And this organization does an amazing job. I read you the stats from the year before last to you before. I'm going to read you the stats for this year right now. In 2021, 474 youth were served. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but let me break that down. 5,000 plus what they call touch points, 4,500 plus meals served, 1,500 nights of shelter, 16,000 plus volunteer hours. 100% of their high school seniors graduated high school. Yeah. And 96% of the youth that they helped out and housed in 2021 are still in stable housing today. This is important stuff. Thank you. There are multiple ways in which you can support the church and this fabulous organization. You can mail a check, you can go through our website, you can use an app called Vanco Mobile, or you can send a check. The choice is yours. All the information is on our website, should you need it. As always, thank you for your generosity.
Driving to Reno and 447, gassing in Gerlach, arriving in heaven. Short entry lines and dust angels with wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Esplanade District, Playa, the temple. Opulent jazz can night times transcendental. Lighting up dark tots and odd cars with swings. These are a few of my favorite things. Popo mechanical, bright fire lashes, dust marks, fun goggles, and Thunderdome flashes. Daytime adventures and feeling like kings. These are a few of my favorite things. When my bike breaks, when my head breaks, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Tutus on Tuesdays and dog punk by fences. Flaming Lotus girls and faux fur expenses. David Best Spankies, what will the day bring? These are a few of my favorite things. Lamplighters on parade, Hudso's illusions. Virgins and veterans, radical inclusion. Self-reliance from which much more fun springs. These are a few of my favorite things. Flame conclave dances and ranges, no badges. Watching the man burn to hot glowing ashes. Tearful goodbyes, oh how sweet farewell sting. These are a few of my favorite things. When the ice melts, when the dust clings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. When the ice melts, when the dust clings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so
Okay, let's sing our offertory response song. This song puts our intentions into words and expresses our gratitude for the many gifts we share. We gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
Now, of course, is that time in our service when you are invited to honor the important event and people in your lives, and you are invited, whether you're a member, a friend, visitor, everyone is invited to participate in this weekly ritual of joys and sorrows. So I'd like to invite Lori Kluge, he's one of our pastoral care associates, up here to assist us. So the idea is that if you've been holding something close to your heart, something that maybe have struck your core, maybe it's in the last days, weeks, or even hours, if you'd like to honor that, we invite you to come forward and to light a candle. Nothing more appropriate on Burning Day than lighting a flame, right? So if you're a roomer, you're invited to come forward to light a candle. If you'd like to share your joy or sorrow, you can write it on a slip of paper that the ushers have. And if you don't have one or you would like one, just raise your hand and they'll bring one over to you. And then when you come up to light your candle, just hand it to me and I'll read them out loud after we're done. If you're a Zoomer, hi Zoomers, you're invited to write your joy or sorrow in the chat. I've got my chat open here. And when the roomers are done lighting their candles, then Lori will light a candle for each of you as I read yours out loud to everyone. You can also, of course, light one in silence or light one at home. As music is played, I invite you to silently offer healing or celebration as you feel called and according to your own beliefs. Please come forward to light your candle. So Maureen M. has would like a candle of joy lit. She says, my younger daughter and her husband are visiting. That's always a joy. And Jan M., Beth's wife, they have a joy. Joey is starting his 3rd week now in his new job at Ecotown Fountain Valley. So yay. And Denny would like a candle lit for her husband Bob, who is going to be celebrating this week his 95th birthday. Yeah. You know, I think we have a tradition here. We get to sing happy birthday to Bob. I know he's online.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you.
95. The man is amazing. Sharp as a tack. It's wonderful. All right, let's see here. We've got also Peggy Priver says, so grateful for my air conditioning. High five, Peggy. My air-conditioned house and my solar roof powering it. Very cool. She says, my sons came over to enjoy it too. Oh, yeah. And Valerie A., she says, we're getting settled here in Pennsylvania. Daniel, that's her son, is enjoying his new classes, and we have medical coverage. I'm feeling really grateful still to be able to join you, my friends at OCUUC. We're glad too, Valerie. This is the cool thing about Zoom. Wherever you are, you can be a part of this community. And Barbara S. says, thank you, Matthew, for sharing with us about Burning Man. I learned some things. So there you go. I would like to also, Linda Sperry, if we could light a candle for Linda. As she wrote to me this week, she said her COVID luck ran out. Yeah, so she's home today. She is feeling better. She's got a little bit of a cough, but the fever is gone. She's on the mend. So let us all send her some good healing thoughts that she recovers really quickly and easily. All right, so now we have the in-person joys and sorrows. I think that's it. Yes, that's it. I got all that? All right. So Joel and Jolyn Abanyas, they are sharing a joy that yesterday was their 16th year anniversary. Love, love, love. And Marilyn Giss also lit a candle of joy, she says, for being able to celebrate her 80th birthday with family and close friends of many years. She said it was the first time I had all 5 of my grandchildren together with my 2 daughters. A wonderful, special day. Amen to that, yeah. And Tatiana H. has a candle of joy. She lit a candle of joy. She says, an amazing little village that we've created here at the refugee shelter. 11 Ukrainians living in peace and comfort thanks to all of you here at OCUUC. Yay. Go team. So for those of you who may not know, the building next door, which we will be eventually ripping down and building a new sanctuary, this is actually sort of technically our fellowship hall, right now is housing a bunch of Ukrainians who are having a challenge finding places to stay here in Orange County, so they stay here. And we're just delighted to have them. They're awesome. And Phyllis K. Has a candle of joy. She says, gracious welcome to Orange County from so many during my first month returning to where my 7 children were raised. And we're delighted to have you back, Phyllis. And Matthew here, he lit a candle of joy. He says, finding my way home each year brings peace and joy to my soul. I pray that all of you will find that in your own ways. Amen. Mifanwi Kaiser, she lit a candle of sorrow for her brother Peter in his failing health. She says to please light a candle for her as well. And Avery B. has a candle of sorrow for the death of another in the trans community who was killed at a pride event in Germany last week for standing up for someone else. Their vigil is today, and Avery, they wish that they could be there. Let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, both spoken and those that are held silent in our hearts. Let our joys remind us to be thankful, our concerns remind us to hope, and our sorrows remind us to connect with one another. And let all these moments remind us that we are not alone. I'd like to invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer. This prayer is by the pastor, Dean Brian Baker. He's an Episcopal priest, and he's a burner. He goes there every year. In fact, he started one of his gifts is a blessing that I'm going to give you today, but he also started a church there called Religious as, not going to say the word, but Religious as F. All right. So, but the gift he also brings every year is this blessing. The world now is too dangerous and too beautiful for anything but love. I bless your eyes so you see God in everyone. I bless your ears so you hear the cry of the poor. I bless your lips so you speak nothing but the truth in love. I bless your hands so that everything you give and everything you receive is a sacrament. I bless your feet so you run to those who need you. And may your heart be so opened, so set on fire, that your love changes everything. Blessed be, and amen.
I'd quickly like to thank the rescue crew that went out there and rescued us all from the escapee umbrella that was seeking refuge on top of the pergola. Yeah. Let us join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say together, we extinguish our chalice, but not the flame of our, or the community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. You know, it's harder to say that and put out a candle than you think. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're a congregation made up of people who believe differently. Yet when we gather together, whether we're in the room or we're on Zoom, we make up one loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. And if you're a guest or a visitor or someone who has not yet been known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. We encourage you to either write in the chat if you're a Zoomer, or if you're a roomer, we encourage you to stand for a brief moment and tell us your name and where you're from, if you're interested. And Beth will come to you with a microphone so the Zoomers can hear you too. Okie dokie. If you'd like to know more about our church, including programming for our youth and children, please contact us at, this is going to come as a shock, hello@ocuc.org, and we will help you get connected. In addition, we invite you to sign up for our weekly email called The Blast at, you guessed it, The Blast at ocuc.org. We want everyone to feel a part of this beloved community, so please reach out and we will help you get connected.
And of course, announcements. And I know all of you online have stayed online for the announcements.
Yes.
Right? All right. So, announcements. Big thing, of course, is in like less than 3 weeks is our Environmental Film Festival. There are tickets still available. If you have any issues being able to afford a ticket, just see me or Linda Sperry. You can email her. Also, he was here. Tracy, where's Tracy? Tracy somewhere. She's Peggy. You can see Peggy too. And we'll make sure that you can get in there. But the tickets are going, so make sure that you get those signed up and get your tickets now. So you can see all the fun stuff that's going on in the church this week, all sorts of amazing things. A couple other announcements that are not up here, one of which is we have a number of people here in the church that are sensitive to strong smells, right? I don't know about you. I was in Italy back in my 20s, and I had a roommate who every year would douse herself with the perfume opium. And now every time I smell that, I go back to Italy. It's kind of cool. But for some people, that's not a fun experience. Like, that's like a really strong smell, right? And these strong smells, people can be really sensitive. We have both staff and members of the congregation. It's not normal deodorant or shampoos, but strong perfumes or patchouli oils, that kind of thing. If you could, for the time that you're here in person, leave those at home. There would be so many people who would be very, very grateful. So thank you for thinking of your fellow community members. The other thing I want to mention is that next week, it sort of is the launch of this new church year. We do this with our water ceremony, right? So, and the choir will be back, which is very exciting. So yay. So it kind of starts everything. So I want to also invite you to bring your water bottle. We're going to do a blessing of the water bottles next week. So bring your water bottle or have one online, Zoomers. All right, let us sing our benediction.
Let us go out and all do our part. Let us go out, bring joy to each other. Let us go out with indifference destroy. Let us go out with joy one more time. Let us go out and all do our part. Let us go out, bring joy to each other. Let us go out with indifference destroy. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out with joy.
Welcome home, everyone. This service is over. Let our service continue.
Woo-hoo.